Welcome to Biz Talk on NowMedia. My name is Rachel Weaver. I am your host for today. I have a special guest with me today who has actually been a regular, Dr. Alan Badeau. Dr. Badeau, it's always a pleasure to have you. Dr. Alan Badeau is an award-winning CTO and serial entrepreneur with over 2 decades of experience across federal, international, and commercial sectors. As an industry recognized authority in artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and cybersecurity, Dr. Badeau has led cutting edge AI technology adoption in public, corporate, and government domains. Dr. Badeau, thank you so much for joining us today. We are super excited to have you.
Hi, Rachel. It's great to be here again.
So today I want to talk about a hot topic that's been out there in the media and news lately, and that is deep fakes in AI. It's becoming a huge challenge and a big risk when it comes to all the brand new AI super dupes, if you will, that are showing up as you. Now, I absolutely love these AIs that look and sound like me because it cuts my work time back. But there are some concerns. So talk to us about that.
Yeah, it's starting to get a little scary, and this is really becoming a public service announcement almost, in that people really need to pay attention to all the activities that they're participating in, from work to your personal life and everything in between. Because, with a deep fake, let's start what it's defined as. Deep fake, really, you're using a deep learning model to train to behave like somebody. And you do that through capturing images, you do that through capturing their voices. And when you start to put all that stuff together, it becomes very scary for some folks. And I mean, from the Taylor Swift incident that we saw that just really took over the news media, to some recent events that we can talk about here in a few minutes, people really have to pay attention now.
Mm-hmm. So are you finding that we are at great risk of even because there's a lot of legal allegations coming up because of these deep fakes? How is this affecting corporate companies?
Yeah, that's a great question, Rachel, because folks that work at work in different industries, you really haven't had to pay attention to that kind of stuff anymore. If you worked at a bank, you were just, you went about your daily activities, and you would go home, and, everything would be fine the next day. But, in one event that took place, there was a young lady who was a vice president at a bank. She was on a Zoom call, and her boss was on there, and everybody else that, she recognized were on there. And they started to tell her, we want you to take this money and deposit it in a separate account, and we want you to send $21 million to do that. And at first she thought, that's a little strange. Why would somebody tell me to do that? That's not, our standard operating procedures. But her boss was telling her to do those sort of things. And come to find out, she was on a Zoom call with everybody else that was a deep fake. So they had set her up and had replicated her boss, her other folks that she worked with, those kind of things. And that's how sophisticated folks are starting to get now with these types of capabilities. And that really has sent a lot of alarms off in the cyber arena, in the fraud protection arena, simply because now folks, with so much data out there and so much information that people are putting on social media, if they can deep fake a bank teller to do something like that, then everybody really is at risk for those things. And I have my own persona that I use that does and talks and looks like me. But now we just have to be even more vigilant in how we're behaving in our daily lives.
Yeah, that is alarming, actually, to think that it could go as far as banking transfers because someone shows up looking like you. And I'll be very transparent. I've had a lot of people that say, Rachel, I had no idea it wasn't you on social media. So it really is a little bit alarming. And then I know that, like you said, with Taylor Swift, we are experiencing this with a lot of well-known celebrities, thought leaders. I've even heard of some TV personalities on the news that have been duped and, you know, quote unquote endorsing something that they had never even heard of.
That's
So,
right.
yes, how would you suggest that we embrace this AI technology but also protect ourselves?
Yeah, and I think the story that I just told is a really good use case for folks to pay attention to. I mentioned in there that she said, it was outside of our normal procedures, but my boss was telling me to do that. That set off an alarm for her, but she didn't act on the alarm, right? And you know, it was out of the norm, but she didn't take a step back and say, you know what, maybe I'm going to call my boss outside of this call and just double check and verify. We have to remember that just because AI can do so much for us and help us through a lot of processes, that we're not robots. We're not AI. We can't act like robots, and we can't, forget that there are ways that we can question certain things and go about adhering to standard procedures, and as a check, just to make sure that if you don't feel right about doing something or it's outside the norm, it doesn't get anybody in trouble if they ask a couple of more questions.
Yeah, it's a good reminder about following your gut instincts as well and always following up on those because the reality of it is with all of the technology that's out there, I mean, you just never know.
That's
So
right.
it's very important to stay diligent and aware of um, where you could potentially show up. So that's something that we all should be very, very cautious of, especially today. I think, you know, it's something that all of us really are going to just have to understand. It's not going away,
That's
um,
right.
but we have to take extra precautions to protect ourselves at the same time.
Yeah, and people really do have to remember that at the end of the day, it's still a human mistake. And
Mhm.
why is it a human mistake? And the reason is because there are checks and balances in place for a reason. Just because your boss tells you to do something on a Zoom call doesn't mean that you can't call your boss, ask them for something else. If somebody is asking for certain credentials that would allow them to get into a system and they don't have all the information that's necessary to validate those credentials, but a human still gives them access anyway because they feel bad for them because there's for whatever reason, that's an issue too, because we've seen that AI has been able to call into service desks, dupe one of the help desk employees into giving them credentials that they should not have had, and then there are issues that result from that. So people have to remember that follow the procedures that you understand. If you don't feel right about something, just check. And that's why they are there. And folks are preying on that, and they think if I give a sad enough story and have the AI do that, it's going to help me get to my end goal, which is credentials to a system, having bank transfers, whatever that is. And that's that sort of thing has to stop.
Mhm. Very good. Such good information to help all of us because you're right. At the end of the day, it is all human error. The computers and the AI is there to assist us, really,
That's
to
right.
help us, not to hurt us, not to harm us. But we as adults and as humans have the responsibility to be held accountable for the actions that we take. And so it's just, I think in a lot of HR departments and a lot of new company rules should be, surrounding this type of thing, to go through your checklist and double check. Don't ever do something that could be detrimental or, absolutely not, especially when we're talking about banking transfers or logins to secure information. So we really have lots of resources to protect ourselves and also embrace and endure the beauty of what AI can really offer us.
Yes, that's exactly right. I couldn't have said it any better, because if that flag goes up, that's the protection that we have as humans that AI doesn't have. That gut instinct that allows us to say, that doesn't feel right, I'm going to double check it. Yes. And that is our saving grace right there. And if we just do that, that's going to be a powerful step, because it's no different than somebody just clicking an email, right, and then launching a virus. It's still human error, and we just have to protect against that.
Yes, such great information. Tell us, Dr. Bedeau, where can we find you?
Yeah, you can find me at Dr. Allen at alanbedeau.ai, or you can go to my website, alanbedeau.ai, or harmonicai.ai, which talks about personas, which shows how we are building some animated personas to do, and assist, people with personality and, understanding the nuances associated with that. So it's a good place for, some additional information.
Love it. Thank you so much. We look forward to having you back again very soon. And with that, we will be right back after this commercial break.
Are you nearly maxed out on your credit cards? It doesn't matter if you're using your credit cards for fun or to survive. At the end of the month, your statements come in, and you can either pay them or you can't. If you can't, late fees and interest rates get tacked on. And now you're struggling just to make the minimum payment due. Do you feel trapped? Am I talking to you? Good, because I personally researched some companies that can help you. They may be able to reduce your credit card balances by 50% and stop the late fees. If you qualify, please call our special debt hotline number right now for a complimentary free 5-minute consultation. Deal with your credit card problem now before it gets much worse, and put more money back in your pocket. Trust me, I've been there too. Call right now.
Call 855-993-2096 right now. That's 855-993-2096.
Do you have a car sitting around you want to get rid of? Well, here's a great idea. Donate your car now to help local veterans in your area. Yes, just make one fast call to the Veteran Car Donation Program. Within a few days, we'll come and remove your car for free. You can donate any car in any condition. We'll use our vast network to sell it. The proceeds raised go to help local veterans and their families. And you get a tax deduction. And all you need to do is make this free call. Clean your yard up, get rid of an old car, and help the vets. We make it easy. Make this free call now. Book your fast and easy pickup. Call the Veteran Car Donation Program now.
Are you a business owner feeling overwhelmed or burnt out with no energy left for what's most important to you? In order to effectively run your business and maximize your profits, you have got to be the best possible you that you can be. Now is the time to reclaim your energy, master your schedule, and maximize your profits so you can effectively run your business rather than it running you. It's time to become the CEO of your business and life. I'm Jen Godet, a business strategist and life coach. I work with overwhelmed business owners who feel stuck in a rut and depleted. I teach you how to stop doing the things that aren't making you money and start prioritizing the things that bring you energy, joy, and lasting impact. I'm a human performance specialist and an international best-selling author. I've helped countless people all over the world to learn the art of saying no, overcome their fear, and maximize their performance. Let's get you to live your best possible reality. Start today and become the CEO of your business and your life.
Hi, I am Noura Al-Masri and welcome to Echoes of Impact with Noura. Join me on a journey where we celebrate the power of women in business, the driving force behind growing nonprofits, and the architects of change in our community. We'll explore strategies for building successful businesses, increasing cash flow, and saving on taxes. Tune in to Echoes of Impact with Noura, because when women succeed, we all thrive. See you there.
Welcome back to Biz Talk, everyone. I am your host today, Rachel Weaver, and I have a very special guest with us today, Mr. John Mitchell. John has been working in the tax field since 1990. He holds a Master of Science in Taxation and holds both a tax license and enrolled agent license. John, it is such a pleasure to have you with us today. It is timely to have you with us today, right amongst tax season.
Yes, ma'am, Rachel. Well, man, I tell you what, I am just overflowing with joy, happiness, pleasure. I just can't express how happy I am. Grateful that you guys had me back on the show again, man. It is a honest to God pleasure to talk to you, Rachel, and I'm so happy to bring some good information for the folks out there.
Wonderful. Well, we are excited because tax season is upon us. And a lot of people are feeling super anxious about their taxes this year, especially if you're a business owner, because there's been so many new tax laws, I feel, continuously coming out. So I would love to talk to you about a few things, because I know sometimes for business owners or even personal right now is what's due. It's coming upon us 5 more days. And so what if I know I cannot be ready in 5 days? What should I do? How would I go about filing an extension?
Rachel, man, that is such a great and timely question. I mean, I get asked that, and the frequency with which I get asked that just increases as the days go on. Oh my God, John, I'm not ready. I'm waiting on this other piece of paper, et cetera, right? I lost, my dog ate my homework. I'm not ready to file yet. So what do I do, right? Well, there's 2 different kinds of penalties that the IRS will charge in this type of situation. There's a failure to file and failure to pay. So it's always better if you file it, even if you don't have money to pay right away. And if you don't know how much taxes you're going to be due to pay in or get back or whatever, no problem. It's better to just file an extension now. Estimate your best guess. What do you think you're going to owe? If you think you're going to owe money, send it and file that extension. And that way you avoid the bigger of the 2 penalties, because the failure to pay your taxes is 0.5% a month. Failure to file is 5% a month. So it's 10 times worse to not file than to not pay. And so if you get an extension, those extensions are good for 6 months. That's your automatic extension. And so I would encourage everybody, you don't even have to call me. You can, go online to Google, type in IRS 1040 extension. It's going to bring you a very simple little form 4868. That's got your name, address, your social security number, and how much money are you remitted to the IRS with that form. You fill it out, it can even be by hand. drop it in the mail. Now, if you're going to mail this, I definitely recommend mailing it certified mail so you have proof that you mailed it. And it's good if you mail it all the way up through April 15th. So they don't have to receive it by the deadline. You just have to put it in the postal mail by the deadline. And so get a proof that you have mailed that. You're going to be good to go and you're going to avoid the biggest of the IRS penalties.
Wow, yes. Super, super important information because I think a lot of people think they already pay too much in tax. So unless you want to pay even more for those penalties, make sure you file that extension if you're not ready.
Yep.
Super important. So tell us what to do if you need to correct something on your tax return. Maybe something is not showing up properly. How would we go about, outside of contacting an expert like you, what should we do?
Right. Well, that's, a very important point. Now, you can always give me a call or shoot me an email, and I'll be happy to help people out, either represent you or just talk to you for a couple of minutes and steer you in the right direction. Now, other than that, there is, like, let's say you filed your 1040 form, okay, and then you figure out, oh my God, I accidentally, I listed my pet goat as a dependent, wasn't supposed to do that. Oh my God, what do I do now? Well, two things. First of all, you can file what's known as a 1040X. That is an amended tax return. Amended, just another word for corrected. So if you want to correct your tax return, add something in, take something out, change the calculations a little bit, whatever you think you need to do to make it more correct. If you do that before the filing deadline, then that is not, the IRS has to take that, right, by law. So that's a statutory thing, and they have to take your correction before the filing deadline. And they call that, in legal technical terms, they call that a superseding tax return. So I did one tax return. I figured out I needed to file something a little differently. So I filed a superseding return, and that just takes the other return out and replaces it with the new one, right? Now, if the deadline is already passed, you can still file your correction. The IRS, 99% of the time, they will take it. I have seen them in a couple of instances not want to take that. And so, word to the wise, if it's after the filing deadline, it might be that you file your correction and the IRS gives you a little bit of pushback on that. That's when you probably want to talk to a guy like me, right? So that's just word to the wise. But you can go ahead and correct those tax returns, well into the future. So usually it's considered 3 years into the future. You can correct a return, and it's going to be, good to go. So 1040X if you think that you need to make a correction.
Very good. So important to understand and know. So thank you for that.
Yep.
The IRS warned you to look out for ghost preparers. So tell us a little bit about this.
That's like a scary movie from the 80s, right? Ghost preparers, very scary. But actually, it is scary because these ghost preparers is what the IRS calls it. And these are people that just pop up, let's say, in a temporary location, right? I have literally seen, like, they'll open a little stand in a grocery store, or they'll put up a fold-in table down at the flea market, and they're there from January to April. And they're a lot of times what these folks do is, maybe they're not even licensed professionals. They're just people that show up, and they've got just barely enough skills to do a tax return. So they start selling that service to the public. And what they do is they'll charge many times inflated fees, right? And they'll tell you, hey, listen, Rachel, I can get you, your CPA that you've been dealing with for a decade now, he's telling you you're going to get back $2,000. And guess what? I know tax law better than anybody. I know more than your CPA does. I can get you $3,000. And Rachel might be tempted to say, oh my goodness, I'd rather, 3,000 is way better than 2,000. I think I'm going to, go with the flea market guy. Well, what happens is flea market guy might inflate your numbers a bit. He might fudge things. He might put deductions that you're not entitled to. He might change any number of things. bump up that refund amount, right? Now, you see that on the paperwork and you sign and you think, oh my God, I've made a genius move. I went to the flea market guy. Well, guess what? 6 months from now, IRS is going to send you a letter and say, oh, yeah, that wasn't quite right. Pay us back all that money plus interest and penalties. And when you go to flea market guy to try and figure out what's going on and get some help, that guy's in the wind. He's gone. He might not have even. I've seen it literally where guys will set up shop and they're not even giving you the customer. They're not even giving you their correct name. So, like Joe Smith might open up a little pop-up stand in the flea market, and he's calling himself James Rodriguez, right? And you don't know, because you go do your taxes with somebody. How many times have you ever gone to a service provider, do your taxes, and you ask them for their ID, right? That never happens. And so you might, go somewhere. Somebody's going to charge you a bunch of money. They're going to pop up, temporarily in some spot, do a bunch of tax returns, collect a bunch of money. It's all garbage what they've sent to the IRS. And when the IRS figures that out, you're going to be left holding the bag and paying back all that money. And that guy is a ghost because he has now disappeared into the wind.
Wow. It's crazy to think that happens, but nothing surprises me today. We talked earlier about deep fakes in AI and people showing up and transfers being made. And I think that we are susceptible to this kind of thing in taxes even.
Right, and that's why the IRS just a few days ago, they put out their press release and said, "Hey, everybody, and be careful because that's your tax return, right? You're ultimately going to be responsible for it. I mean, maybe not criminally, but I mean, at the very least, you're going to get stuck with penalties, interest, and stuff." And so there's a couple of red flags that you look out for. First of all, the people that are doing your tax return for you, Rachel, they should be going over it at the end, and they should they should be able to show you line by line, this is how much money you made, this is how much the taxes were, this is how much you paid in, this is how much you're getting back, and they should be able to make that clear for you, and they should be able to explain it. And if you're getting back way more money, they should be able to tell you why. What did the other guy? What are you saying he did wrong? Why am I getting more money back, right? And so that's number one. Number two, big red flag. If people are out there doing your tax return and they don't want to put their signature on it, well, guess what? That is a legal requirement. If I do your taxes, I'm supposed to sign right underneath you, right? So if people are not wanting to put their name and they're not wanting to sign, hey, big red flag, they might be doing something that they don't want to trace back to them. And so that you might want to, go think about going somewhere else.
Wow, such great information. Thank you so much. Can you tell the audience where can we find you?
Absolutely, yeah. I am not in hiding. I'm not a ghost. So I'm not gonna disappear. I'm here year round, and I'm at a telephone number 713-333-0555, and my email address is jmitchell@cctaxlaw.com.
Thank you so much, John. It's always a pleasure to have you on. We look forward to having you back, hopefully again very soon. And with that, we will be right back after this commercial break.
Thanks.
Attention timeshare owners. This is an urgent consumer alert from the Timeshare Exit Hotline, a national company specializing in helping consumers legally get out of their expensive timeshare contracts. We're offering you a way to legally get rid of your timeshare. So if you're fed up with the maintenance fees that keep on coming and want to learn if you can terminate your timeshare legally and permanently, call today. Call the number on your screen today. It's a free call.
Taking a trip in the next 12 months? Airlines are under tremendous pressure and they're practically giving away their unsold seats. Like every crisis, this one will end too. But right now is the best time to take advantage of giveaway ticket prices on their unsold seats. We're not allowed to publish these low fares online. The only way to get these rock bottom giveaway prices is to call. So phone low-cost airlines now for airline ticket prices you may never see again.
The legal profession is not immune to the disruptive power of artificial intelligence. AI is reshaping the way lawyers research, analyze, and manage legal matters. AI-powered legal research tools can sift through vast volumes of legal documents, statutes, and case law in seconds, providing lawyers with comprehensive insights to build their cases. In courtrooms, AI is used to manage and present digital evidence effectively. It can organize and analyze evidence, making complex cases more understandable for judges and juries. In contract review, AI quickly identifies potential risks, inconsistencies, and compliance issues in legal contracts, saving valuable time and reducing human errors. The future of law is being shaped by AI. AI is streamlining legal research, improving courtroom presentations, enhancing contract analysis, and making legal information more efficient and accessible. Data Dive, infinite insights instantly.
Hi, I am Noura Al-Masri and welcome to Echoes of Impact with Noura. Join me on a journey where we celebrate the power of women in business, the driving force behind growing nonprofits, and the architects of change in our community. We'll explore strategies for building successful businesses, increasing cash flow, and saving on taxes. Tune in to Echoes of Impact with Noura, because when women succeed, we all thrive. See you there.
Welcome back to Biz Talk, everyone. I'm your host, Rachel Weaver. I have a very special guest with me for this segment, Stefan Whitwell. Stefan is a regular on this show, and we are always excited to have him because he is a sought-after investment advisor and tax planner for business owners and executives across the U.S. He graduated from Wharton School of Business and earned his CFA designation in 2000. He has real estate expertise in Texas for over 15 years. Stefan, it is always an honor and pleasure to have you on the show with us.
Thank you, Rachel. I'm happy to be here.
So I'm excited, the buzz is tax season, right? So there's lots of things surrounding tax season that I think people have questions about, business owners have questions about. So I want to ask, if you can give me an example of an employee benefit that every company should be thinking about in terms of offering to their employees.
So, gosh, there's lots of them, but I think one at the very top of my list would be putting in place a really good 401k plan. We've all heard the phrase 401k, but like anything else, there's a big difference between a mediocre one and a good one. Mm-hmm. If you've looked inside a 401k before, often what you'll see are very, very generic investment funds that are kind of just the whole market. But if you're under 100 years old and or interested in technology and really want to grow your wealth, you're going to want to have access to some more modern ETFs that both often have lower expense ratios, but also have more exposure to some of the faster growing sectors like technology. So, the reason a 401k is super important for the employer is it gives the employee the ability to put money away either pre-tax or after tax. Everybody knows that if you make a contribution to your 401k, and most people do it pre-tax, you get a deduction, which is good. But what a lot of people don't know is if you can afford to, you also have the option of contributing after tax instead of pre-tax. And if you do that and you invest it into something growth oriented for the long run, then not only will you never pay tax on that again, but all the gains on that inside your 401k will also be tax-free. And when you eventually leave that company, you can then roll that money over to your Roth account, which again is a tax-free account. So I think it's a very powerful account for people that are just starting out in their career, and likewise very important for people that are getting closer to retirement who should be building up their tax-free bucket. But again, you got to get a 401k plan that's modern, that has useful choices inside of it to really get the most out of it and set your team up for success.
Love that. Such great information. It's definitely something that everyone should think about because, like you said, offering benefits, sometimes if the benefits aren't good that you're offering, not only is it reflective on the talent you will attract into your company, but also how you're perceived. So I definitely, and you want to take care of your people. It really affects your business and your company wholeheartedly. I'm such a believer in creating a strong team culture and a strong team of entrepreneurs who want to be there serving and building that business with you. So such great information. So,
yeah, you got to take care of your team, right?
Yes, absolutely. And benefits are a big, big part of that. And there are a lot of people that is one of the top things they look for when looking for a job. So we shouldn't ignore it. Mm-hmm. So what are tax efficient ways to provide employee bonuses?
Yeah, so if your employer issues you a standalone bonus check, your employer has some control over the withholding method as long as it's $1 million or less. Mm-hmm. So if your employer, as an employer, if you give a bonus and it's a separate check and it's categorized separately, it's not just lumped into your normal monthly or bi-monthly paycheck, you can actually have it taxed at just 22%. So that means that for higher earning members of your team who might be in higher tax brackets, not only are you giving them a bonus, but it's kind of like a double bonus because you could done right, it's taxed lower. And that's something that just a lot of people don't know about. But if you're going to give a bonus to your team, I mean, I think it's worth the extra effort to, do it in a way that's going to let them keep more of that money that they've earned through a lower tax withholding rate.
Yeah, that's great. Such great information because I think that a lot of employers don't even understand what the benefits are of those bonuses. And sometimes they can even feel a little bit nervous about it, but it is a great way to reward your people. Like you said, taking care of your employees, which is also something that is going to benefit your company in the end. So
yeah, it's one of those things too that whoever does payroll is probably happy to do it, but they may not know to do that unless they're told to do that. So it's really helpful as the business owner to just be aware of that so that you can then kind of task your team with figuring that out, mm-hmm. so that whoever you're giving a bonus to is going to benefit from that lower tax withholding.
Mm-hmm. So would you say that there are tax benefits for employers that offer educational opportunities for their employees?
There's a bunch of benefits that can benefit employees and the employer. So one of them, for example, like you mentioned, there is the ability to create an educational, say grant or gift benefit to your employees that's tax deductible for the company, but it's not taxed on the receiving end as an employee. So that's pretty cool. Thing is, you can't offer it just to one person, you got to offer it to everybody. But there's other things too outside of education. For example, we've often heard of HSA plans What we don't always hear as much about are FSA plans. So if your company is smaller and you're not offering insurance, health insurance to everybody yet, you can't offer an HSA account, but you could still offer what's called an FSA account. And an FSA account basically lets you put several $1,000s away out of your pay, pre-tax, into an account that you can then draw from and use to pay for medical expenses that are not covered by insurance, which we all have those, right? And that's great because that means that your dollar stretches even further because you're paying for those expenses pre-tax. And another kind of cool thing that's out there, and you don't need to remember all this, but just kind of put it in the back of your mind that there's two different types of FSAs. There's like the regular kind of medical FSA, which is very useful, but there's also a dependent care FSA, which is a second type of additional FSA that you can offer. And that type of FSA allows you to deduct expenses either, for dependents. So that either means like children, or could also mean, your parents or an older adult that is dependent on you, or maybe an adult brother or sister that needs extra help or something. So there are other benefits that I often see companies aren't fully taking advantage of. And the company benefits, because if the employee, for example, puts away several $1,000s into the FSA, that's money that the company is not having to spend payroll taxes on. So it's a win for the company, and it's a clear win for the employee. So there are, a handful of things like that where both the company and the employees can win. And obviously any kind of a benefit where somebody benefits is cool, but when you both win, I think that's cool with a capital C.
Yes, such great information. I know personally, I wish I would have known about that dependent FSA because I do have kids, but I also have recently been taking care of an ill parent, and it has put a tremendous amount of expense on me. The traveling back and forth, the extra care, the getting them help at home, because at the end of the day, no matter how great our insurance is, they just don't pay 100%. And
that's right.
And it has been a full year of a lot of extra expense that has created hardship. So I think that this is really great information for everyone to understand. And I know for me, if I was looking at this point in my life for a new job, I would be, now that I'm aware of this, looking for someone to offer this to me, because honestly, it would have been life-changing over the last year.
And look, if you're hearing this and you're an employee and your company doesn't offer it, maybe they just don't know about it, right? Because business owners are human. They're just so busy trying to get everything done. And if you come to them and say, hey, here's something that might be a win for you and for a win for us, maybe you can kind of be the catalyst that helps make that happen. And, you made a great point, Rachel, about the challenges of caring for, parents. We should probably schedule another call just to talk about that, because there's some cool things that are worth sharing with everybody, because it's an issue that we all have to deal with at some point. It's not an easy one emotionally. It's not an easy one financially. And so, there is a $5,000 a year FSA for dependent care. People always think kids, but equally so could be parents.
Yeah. Well, we definitely are going to have you on again very soon. I want to continue this conversation because it's really, really important. And also because I'm learning so much and super excited. So tell us, where can we find you?
You bet. You can give me a call at 512-766-7775. Just make sure you reference the show so I have some context on your calling, or you can send me an email, Stefan with an F as in financial freedom, Stefan@whitwelladvisors.com.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to having you again very soon. And with that, we will be right back after this commercial break.
Are you nearly maxed out on your credit cards? It doesn't matter if you're using your credit cards for fun or to survive. At the end of the month, your statements come in, and you can either pay them or you can't. If you can't, late fees and interest rates get tacked on. And now you're struggling just to make the minimum payment due. Do you feel trapped? Am I talking to you? Good, because I personally researched some companies that can help you. They may be able to reduce your credit card balances by 50% and stop the late fees. If you qualify, please call our special debt hotline number right now for a complimentary free 5-minute consultation. Deal with your credit card problem now before it gets much worse and put more money back in your pocket. Trust me, I've been there too. Call right now.
Call 855-993-2096 right now. That's 855-993-2096.
Hi, my name is Michelle Merhar. You may remember me from the morning news. I'd like to tell you how getting data and documents into action fast gives you a competitive edge. Digital-first thinking to manage document workflows efficiently are giving all organizations a competitive edge. In fact, digital document automation is an essential process, helping us to become more profitable and to compete. By making any process paperless with secure automation, decisions can be made efficiently, virtually from anywhere. You'll be able to find and share documents securely in seconds. Your staff will be empowered by making optimal use of every office hour. And by the way, the size of your organization doesn't matter. Precision Products has been helping organizations for more than 30 years with paper to digital processes, including scanning systems for any document to premises and cloud document management systems. We make it easy and scalable for your business process needs from the office or other locations, even mobile devices. Contact us to see how we can help your organization succeed. Contact Will Waterall direct at 713-446-5939 and visit us on the web at precisionproductsinc.com.
Have you ever had to hire multiple contractors? It is a daunting task that takes a lot of management time and impacts the core business or the company that time you spend with your loved ones. At Texas Home Property Solutions, you can count on a responsible company that can tackle all your general contractor needs. Electricity, painting, remodeling, plumbing, air conditioning, and roofing. Hire us and forget it. With over 20 years of experience, Texas Home Property Solution will deliver your project on time and within budget, with the high level of quality and integrity, no matter the size or complexity. If you are a company, a government institution, or an individual who needs a general contractor, you need Texas Home Property Solution. Take a decisive step and call us today for a free consultation.
Welcome back to Biz Talk, everyone. I am your host, Rachel Weaver, and I am thrilled to have a first-time guest with us today, Mr. Chris Cuff. Chris is an executive producer and co-founder of the International Christian Film and Music Festival. He has been in the entertainment industry for over 20 years. Born and raised in Teaneck, New Jersey, he grew up with a passion for music and became a music producer in his teen years. Wow. Chris, it is such a pleasure to have you on this show with us today.
Oh, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
So I know that you have been very busy because your big international film and music festival that you co-host with Marty is quickly approaching us.
Yes, absolutely. It starts on May 1st. We are the largest faith-based film and music festival in the world. Down here in Orlando, Florida, we're excited to start again for 2024. This will be our 12th year.
So exciting. I had the honor and pleasure of attending and helping out as a volunteer and doing your PR last year. It was such an extraordinary, life-changing thing. We were able to meet so many amazing, talented artists across the globe with God at the center, which to me is so heartwarming. So I absolutely loved it. Tell us a little bit more about what is the International Christian Film and Music Festival.
Okay, well, ICFF, the International Christian Film and Music Festival, is not just for filmmakers. It is something that is set up for people that love entertainment, where we have a music festival that's included with it. We show over 150 films. There are seminars, there are concerts, we have an award show, even an Oscars style red carpet. There are tons of things going on, and it's really an amazing event with a very strong presence of God throughout the week.
Mm-hmm. Love that. So incredible. So who are some of the people who have attended this film festival in the past?
In the past, Louis Gossett Jr., may he rest in peace, he recently passed. He was a Lifetime Achievement Award winner. Also, the Newsboys have been with us. Kevin Sorbo, Karen Abercrombie, who was the grandmother who prayed in War Room in that movie. Journey's Jonathan Cain has also been with us, plus many, many actors and producers, many that you will recognize from Christian films that you've watched.
Wonderful. I know that there were some big names last year, and there are going to be several big names there this year, which I am absolutely thrilled about. So, what can people expect when they attend ICFF Festival?
The thing about ICFF, it was originally set up for filmmakers to have a place to show their films. There was no internet streaming 12 years ago. There's very little outlets. They might spend all the money that they had and basically be able to show it in a church or have a video in their hand. So originally it was giving filmmakers a place to show their films. It has grown so much in that spirit that it's a place where thousands of people who love media and entertainment, film and music gather together with people that are also like-minded in the love of God and positivity. So all these things come together to make that atmosphere. We're showing over 150 movies. You can watch these, many of them, before they even hit the theaters. You can mix and mingle with the actors and the celebrities. There's just so much going on throughout the whole week.
I love it. So how is it still possible to sponsor the event, to be a part of it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The event starts on May 1st, so we still have time to be a part of it, to be a sponsor. Our information is all at www.internationalcff.com. And you can sign up for everything that's going on. You can sponsor, you can donate. We are a nonprofit, which is amazing what God has done with a nonprofit to make it this big. I mean, our largest attendance was close to 6,000 people.
Wow, from across the globe, right?
From across the globe. We even found out this year that we have a singer coming to perform from Australia. We found out yesterday. It's amazing.
Fantastic. That is so fantastic. So I know that tickets are still available. I also want to just touch a little bit on that sponsorship because, you know, this is a tax write-off. It's tax season.
Yes.
No better way to become involved. And also for your company and your brand to be put out there in a big way in front of big filmmakers, to be on the news, because I know there will be lots of media attention at this event. So it's a really great way to advertise your business and also have that tax write-off. So when you go to the website, it's a little hidden.
Yeah.
The sponsorship form is. So tell us where to find it for anyone curious, because a lot of people, we don't want them to give up looking for that sponsorship form.
Right. So you go to the website. Let me pull it up really quickly here. Just one second. You go to the website. It's internationalcff.com. And when you go to About, the heading About, it's down there, 4 bullet points down, where you can click on sponsorship, and it has all of our sponsorship opportunities right there on the site.
Wonderful. Very good to know. You can also get tickets on the site and join us, which is fantastic.
Absolutely. Also, you can volunteer. There are so many things going on. We do casting for actors. We do a distribution connection, which is kind of like a distribution dating game. So if you're a filmmaker or have a project, you have a certain amount of time to sit with a distributor, and then we have different stages or different spots in a room, and it's like a dating game. You might have 5-10 minutes to talk to the producer, and then bing, the bell rings and you switch to the next table. So it's really interesting way to meet different people.
Fantastic. I mean, what a great opportunity to be able to audition to your script and your film out there. So many exciting things that are going to be taking place, as well as performances and a live award show. So I know that I will be there with my bells on, interviewing people, talking to everyone throughout the time that we are there. And you'll also find me over on the red carpet, just highlighting all the extraordinary people that are there. I can't wait to interview you this year, Chris.
Oh, absolutely. You didn't get me last year, so.
I know. We're going to snag you this year. Nope.
Okay. No problem. No
We're not
problem.
letting you escape this year. But we cannot wait for this event. And if anyone has it on their hearts to donate, please do. If you have any questions, I know that there is a place that you can reach out. Also, tell the audience where to find you in particular, Chris.
I am all over the place. I can be reached via email at chris@24flix.com, which is our production company, which is separate from ICFF, but that's the best way to reach me.
Okay, Chris at 24flix, FLIX.com.
Correct.
And thank you so much for tuning in today and being a guest on our show. We look forward to having you back again very soon, hopefully to talk about the success of the show after it happens.
Absolutely. Absolutely my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And with that, thank you for joining Biz Talk. We look forward to seeing you again next time.
This has been a NowMedia Networks feature presentation. All rights reserved.
Do you have a car sitting around you want to get rid of? Well, here's a great idea. Donate your car now to help local veterans in your area. Yes, just make one fast call to the Veteran Car Donation Program. Within a few days, we'll come and remove your car for free. You can donate any car in any condition. We'll use our vast network to sell it. The proceeds raised go to help local veterans and their families. And you get a tax deduction. And all you need to do is make this free call. Clean your yard up, get rid of an old car, and help the vets. We make it easy. Make this free call now. Book your fast